Hi guys, thank you for joining me for another 30-minute online chakra flow class. Today we're going to be working with the 6th energy center, which is the Ajna Chakra, or the third eye, located just between the eyebrows. You can visualize it as a beautiful purple or indigo color, and is the home or the energy center of our focus and our intuition. It can also be for insight and spiritual growth. So an imbalanced Ajna Chakra can lead to being confused or unfocused or closed-minded. So we're going to be working on a lot of balancing postures to help keep our focus and our gaze and our balance. We're going to be working on some grounding postures as well to help support us and make us feel earthed as we feel balanced in these postures too. We will be working with some postures as well which cause some extreme extension and flexion of the neck. So just be mindful of that. If you have any neck issues, any upper back issues, just move super gently in these postures. I hope you enjoy the class. Namaste. So we're actually going to start with a pranayama technique called Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. This is going to help us bring the fresh energy to our Ajna Chakra, our third eye chakra, and help us to feel focused and have that connection to our breath, helping us stay balanced through our asana sequence as well. So we're going to start by either taking Vishnu Mudra, so the index and the middle finger connected to the inside of the thumb of the right hand. If this doesn't feel comfortable, I know for me it can feel a little bit tight, you can instead bring the index and middle finger to the third eye chakra, Ajna Chakra, just in the center of the forehead there. Okay, so that's going to be on the right hand. The left hand can rest on the knee, palm down or palm up. If you wanted, you can take Chin Mudra with that hand if that feels more accessible to you. So wherever we are, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be inhaling through the left nostril. We're going to close it off, exhale through the right nostril. Then we'll inhale through the right nostril, exhale through the left nostril, and so on. So I'll cue you through it. If you get lost, don't worry, just keep breathing deeply. Also, if you have any allergies, if you've got hay fever and things like that, and you're finding you're a little bit blocked up in the nose, just connect to your Ujjayi Pranayama, breathing deep in and out through the nose as best you can, and creating a small restriction to the back of the throat as you exhale. Wherever we are, we're just going to be moving with intention with the breath. Okay, so we'll begin by using the thumb to close off the right nostril. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close the left, exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the right hand, bringing it down to the right knee. Deepen the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Small restriction to the back of the throat, creating an ocean-like sound in the back of the head. So doing this alternate nostril breathing should help balance your Ida and your Pingala nadis, the male and female energies within us, the fire and the water, the sun and the moon, these energies that help us keep balanced. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more open, a little bit more focused, and hopefully a little bit more balanced as well. So we'll start with our spinal warm up just to make sure we've moved in all directions before we take it any further. Bringing the right hand to the outside of the right hip, inhale to lengthen up through the left fingertips. As we exhale, we side bend over to the right. Maybe we come down onto the elbow, maybe not. Focus more on spiraling the chest up towards the ceiling and opening through the shoulders. Noticing how you're feeling in your body today. Not judging. Just making a mental note, so as we move into the more deep and intense postures, you have some awareness of how you're feeling and you won't force anything. Inhale through center, reach up. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, reach up through those right fingertips. Exhale, side bend. Again, focus on grounding through the sit bones, focus on spiraling the chest up towards the ceiling. You can look up as well if that feels comfortable. Moving the spine into a lateral flexion. Inhale through center. Exhale, right hand to the outside of the right hip, left hand towards the right knee. Inhale to draw up through the crown of the head. Exhale to twist. Deep breathing in through the chest, the ribs. Feel the intercostal muscles stretching between the ribs as we twist. Without forcing anything, just allow the breath to deepen the twist itself. Inhale, come through center, reach up. Exhale, left hand to the outside of the left hip, right hand towards the left knee. Inhale to draw up. Exhale to twist, staying open through the shoulders and the chest. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if you're feeling tight in the hips as you move into a deeper twist. If that left knee begins to lift up, try to stay nice and grounded through your sit bones, long through the spine. Inhale through center, reach up. Exhale, release down, coming into our tabletop position. So on our hands and knees, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your feet. Knees underneath your hips, feet flat out behind you. As we inhale, come into cow pose, crown of the head comes up, chest forward, belly drops down and the tailbone comes up. As we exhale, we move into cat pose, the tailbone draws down, we lift and separate our shoulder blades as the crown of the head releases towards the floor. Do 2 more of each at your own pace, following your own breath rhythms, and make sure you stick with that through your whole practice. If my breath cues are too quick or too slow, make sure you add in as much extra breath as you need to. Never force or restrict your breath. Exhale. And on your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. We'll come into our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bring the palms forward slightly, fingers spread nice and wide so the wrist creases faces the short edge of the mat. Tuck the toes under, lift the sit bones up and back towards the ceiling, keeping the feet hips distance apart. Knees can stay bent to start with as you focus more on lifting the sit bones away, staying nice and long through the spine, and the chest melts down towards the thighs. Grounding through the finger pads of the index finger and the thumb especially, noticing if your upper arms are beginning to spiral out, draw some strength into the index finger side of the hands. Okay, notice if they're beginning to lift up and ground down. If you have some space in the back of the legs as you're here, you can begin to pedal the feet or bring both heels down towards the floor, but try not to sacrifice the length of the spine to get the straightness in the hamstrings. Focus more on allowing the chest to melt through so the shoulders open up. On your next breath in, look forward. In as many steps as you need, we're going to walk forward to that ragdoll position. So feet hips distance apart or wider, knees bent. You can take opposite hand to opposite elbow or let your arms hang heavy. Notice how you're feeling here. Use this as an opportunity to take a mental note of any areas that maybe feel slightly more restricted. Maybe the hamstrings are feeling a bit tight, maybe the hip flexors, maybe through the shoulders they feel a little bit tighter, or the neck. And just bring in any movements that feel nice in order to bring that mobility in. And then when you're ready, release the hold of the arms, staying rooted through the feet and bent through the knees. Begin to roll up the spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time over your hips until your chin comes parallel with the floor, Samastitihi. Big toes touching, a little bit of space between the heels, or feet hips distance apart. Legs nice and engaged, your knees drawn up, tailbone draws down towards the floor and your core is engaged. Shoulders up and away from the ears, palms face forward. So this is where you'll be between postures. If you ever need to take a little rest from your standing or your vinyasas, this is a good place to balance and ground and root down and just stay present. So we're going to take 3 rounds of Surya Namaskara A to warm us up and to move all the muscle and joint groups. Feel free to modify as needed for yourself, or add in some up level options as well. I'm going to do first round modified and then do some up level options. So as we inhale, bring the arms up overhead, shoulders away from each other, palms face each other, look forward, keep the tailbone down and the ribs drawn in. As we exhale, we bend the knees, hinge forward from the hips, bring the hands down to thighs, shins, or towards the floor. As we inhale, draw the palms up the legs, begin to lengthen the spine, look forward, stay nice and long through the throat. Exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to plant the hands. Stepping back to plank, using the strength of the arms, lower all the way down onto the belly. Inhale, baby cobra, palms underneath your palms underneath your shoulders, elbows into ribs, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, forehead releases down, coming through tabletop. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog, knees can stay bent, or you can begin to pedal them as we take a couple of deep breaths here. Maintaining our connection to our breath through our practice. Notice if you feel slightly more restricted, especially on the inhales, it can often feel like a shorter, sharper breath. So try to elongate them as much as you can. As we inhale, look forward to the space between the hands. In as many steps as you need, walk forward to that halfway lift. Hips over the heels if the legs are straight. Exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to fold forward. The crown of the head releases down. As we inhale, arms up overhead, come all the way up, palms face each other, tailbone draws down, low ribs drawn in. Exhale, Samastiti. Second round, inhale, arms up overhead. This time maybe joining the palms, looking up towards the thumbs, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bringing the hands down towards the floor. As we inhale, head lifts, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step or maybe float back through chaturanga. So if you jump back, land back with bent elbows. Inhale. You can roll over the toes or flip the feet, upward facing dog, arms towards straight, knees stay lifted. As you exhale, hips high, roll over the toes or flip the feet. Downward facing dog, taking a couple of deep breaths. If downward facing dog is ever too much, remember you can always drop to the shins, coming into a tabletop or a child's pose. It should be an opportunity to reconnect to your breath. So if you find that you can't reconnect to your breath in downward facing dog, it may be an indication it's too heat building for you, and just come to rest on the shins instead. As we inhale, look forward to the space between the hands, step or maybe try floating forward. If you do, bend the knees, hips high, land lightly, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, arms up overhead, maybe look up, low ribs in, tailbone down. Exhale, Samastiti. Last round, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple of deep breaths here, following your own patterns. Don't try to force the breath, but try to naturally elongate the breath. If you find that you're sort of holding the breath, try to let go of that and make sure it's a constant flow, inhaling to exhaling. Inhale, look forward, step or float, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, crown of the head releases down. Inhale, come all the way back up through center, maybe look up. Exhale, Samastiti. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg forward fold. First of our balancing postures. Inhale to step the right foot to the back of the mat. Bring the toes in slightly so that the heels are slightly wider. The flat edges of the feet should be parallel with the flat edges of the mat. Hands to the waist as we exhale. Inhale to draw up through the crown of the head. Let that energy fill you. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bringing the hands down towards the floor or a block. If they don't comfortably reach, you can keep your hands on the waist here. So we are shifting with our balance. We're working on trying to keep that lightness in our body. So you may notice, if you're super flexible as well, this can be a problem we have, that if you're bringing the weight into the heels of the feet and your butt might be sticking out the back slightly. This isn't really what we want. We want to bring our center of gravity over the midline. So we want to bring our center of gravity forward, more in line with the balls of the feet and the toes of the feet. So our center of gravity is our pelvis, just above the pelvis actually. As we bring it forward, we want to feel lightness in the heels. You can use the hands as support. If they don't feel balanced, feel free to bring them forward slightly as you experiment with this, and bring the toes and bring the weight into the toes and the balls of the feet a little bit more. And as we move forward, maybe not, the crown of the head comes closer towards the floor. If you're super flexible, maybe the crown of the head reaches the floor or the block. But working with that feeling of lightness in the backs of the feet. Keep those quadriceps really nice and active, so we've got a nice even stretch along the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. Keep those inner thighs active as if you were holding a beach ball between the legs. And as we inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward, straighten the arms. Exhale here. Inhale, bring the hands to the waist, leading with the chest, come all the way back up to center. As we exhale, step forward into Samastitihi in as many steps as you need. We're going to work into our balancing postures. So we're going to take we'll take Virabhadrasana C, Warrior 3 first of all, and then we have the option to move into Ardha Chandrasana, maybe even into Chapasana, sugarcane pose. So working with where we are today, you are more than welcome to come to a wall, but we are working with our balance. So as long as you find a place where you feel nice and still, nice and grounded, and remember our balance can be completely different on one day than it is the next. So just work with where you are today. If you have a block as well, that might be really useful here. I forgot to bring one, but if you have one, that's going to be great. So coming sort of to the midline of your mat, bring the hands to the waist, lengthen the spine, lift the chest, exhale, hinge forward. So if you have blocks, you can bring your hands to the blocks here. Unfortunately, I don't have one, so I'm going to bring my hand to the floor, but make sure you bend your knees as much as you need to in order to get this to a nice stable position to start with. And we're going to begin to lift our right leg back behind us. So you can stay on the tippy toes behind you. If this feels like enough of a balance, you can stay here, or you can begin to bring it towards parallel with the floor. Toes can be pointed, or you can flex the toes back for a slightly more activating posture. Toes pointed, I find personally to be a little bit easier for my balance, but that may be different to you. Okay, and then from here, you can keep the hands on the floor, or you can begin to bring them to the heart center. Or you can begin to bring them behind you, palms face down. If you wanted to really add some activation into it, adding to your core, you can bring the arms forward in line with the ears, coming into a capital T position, looking down, staying nice and long through the spine. Okay, remember to come out if you need to. We are option to move into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, by bringing the left hand towards the floor on the outside of the left foot and just in front. As we open up to the side, bring the right hand up towards the ceiling. Okay, so the right toes face the right hand side, the right hip is stacked over the left. Okay, try to avoid collapsing forward, instead opening up through the side. If you're feeling it, option to move into Chapasana, sugarcane, take the outside of the foot and begin to press that foot into the hand, bringing the knee back behind you. Okay, so getting a shoulder stretch and a real opening through the hip flexors and the quadriceps. Okay, inhale, release the foot, exhale, release to a forward fold, just come into a ragdoll, knees bent, feet hips distance apart. That is really intense on the standing leg, really focusing your balance, steady breathing. Try to avoid holding your breath in these balancing postures, but instead deep connection to your breath, steady gaze, steady focus, and that will give you a steady mind and ultimately a steady balance. Okay, next side. So I'll just turn around on my mat. We're going to, hands to the waist, as we inhale, come up, hands to the waist, lengthen the spine, lift the chest, exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bring both hands down towards the block or the floor, knees can be as bent as they need to be. Left leg begins to extend behind you, you can stay lifted on the tippy toes, just working that hamstring here, working that standing leg as well. Begin to maybe bring it towards parallel, toes pointed or flexed, lengthening through the spine, lifting the chest and looking forward as much as you can, and then maybe bring the palms to the heart center. Arms alongside the body, palms face down, staying neutral through the neck, not craning it up or craning it back. Maybe arms alongside the ears, palms facing each other. Slightly more core work there. Option to move into Ardha Chandrasana. Palm to the outside of the right foot and just in front as we open the left leg out to the left. left hand up towards the ceiling. Okay, left toes facing out to the side. You can look up if it's comfortable or look down. Really activating here. Option to move into Shavasana. Take hold of the outside of the left foot with the left hand. Begin to kick into the hand with the foot, so you're getting that real stretch through the front of the leg, opening up through the shoulders, and it's a mini back bend as well, so lots going on here. Don't worry if you're still at the wall, wherever you are, this is going to be working your balance and your focus, all that energy we need for Ajna Chakra. Release. Gently come back to a forward fold and just hang out here in ragdoll for a little bit longer. Knees bent, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Gentle movements as we release the legs. And then when you've taken all the movements that you feel you need, you can release the elbows. Begin to very gently roll up the spine. Come all the way back up as slowly as you need to. So we're going to just come through to our seated sequence. We're going to come through a vinyasa, however feels best for you. Inhale, arms up, lengthening the spine, looking towards the thumbs. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bringing the hands towards the floor, knees as bent as they need to be. Inhale, head up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And we're just going to drop to the shins here, and we're going to move into Anahatasana, heart melting pose. So bringing the arms forward to the front edges of the mat. Release your chest, your chin or your forehead down towards the floor or a block. Keep the hips over the knees, so try to avoid them leaning back or coming forward. You should be feeling a lovely deep stretch through the heart center as we open up through the shoulders. If possible, we wanted to rest the third eye center on the floor or the block. Feeling the connection to the earth, the grounding sensations of the mat supporting you as your body opens up. Keep the connection to the breath. And then very gently and slowly begin to walk the hands back. As you sit the hips back to the heels, bring the knees wide, rest in an extended child's pose. Feel that beautiful purple or indigo energy traveling in with your breath. And begin to visualize it traveling to the space between your eyebrows, the center of your forehead, filling you with fresh, new, focused energy. And then very gently begin to walk the hands back. Lovely. We're going to move into Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose, which is a little twist. Try to move gently. So extending the legs out in front, we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest, and then we're going to bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee. Okay, so this may feel intense enough, so if it does feel a bit too intense on the knee, or if it feels like it's that kind of an awkward angle or the hip's not open enough, just feel free to leave it on the inside of the knee instead. We're going to bring the right hand to the outside of the hip. The left hand can come towards the right knee, or you can hook the outer edge of the elbow towards the outside of the knee. Left toes stay flexed back towards you. As you inhale, you create space. As you exhale, you twist, using that left arm as a bit of a leverage to open up to the side, but not forcing anything. The mobility should already be in the spine. And what you're going to do is begin to use the breath to separate those ribs. So breathing deeply into those lungs will help separate the ribs and stretch those intercostal muscles between the ribs. And what that will do is that will help you breathe deeper in everyday life. It will help you have a more expansive breath and more space to breathe deeper. As we inhale, look to center. Exhale, very gently unwind, extending that right leg. Inhale the left knee in, maybe bringing it to the outside of the knee. Exhale to twist, left hand to the outside of the left hip, right hand towards the left knee, or maybe the outer edge of the elbow. With each breath in, we create space. Think elongating of the spine. As we exhale, we twist. but really try to breathe deeply into the lungs here. Feel the breath filling the left front, the left back, the right front, and the right back of the entire chest cavity. Feeling it filling all these spaces. And still creating that restriction to the back of the throat as we exhale, making our efficient ujjayi or victorious breath. Inhale, look to center. Exhale to unwind. Release the hands, release the feet. So we're going to come into quite an intense flexion of the neck. This is going to be another balancing posture, but we're going to take Sarvangasana shoulder stand. So just be really mindful here that this could be a little bit intense on the back of the neck. Move very gently in this posture. So if you have high blood pressure, any neck issues, any ladies on their menstrual cycle, please take legs up the wall pose instead by just coming to a wall, bringing your legs vertically, or you can come to lay on your back, support your sacrum just under your bottom with a cushion or a block, and then bring your legs up towards the ceiling. Otherwise, we're going to have a go at Sarvangasana. If you're not sure what it looks like, just watch me first and then come into it. So we're going to come to lay down on our backs. We're also going to move into Karnapidasana, ear pressure pose, to help bring the awareness inwards. So if you need to come out of it between the two and watch me for that, feel free to do that as well. So palms alongside the body, face down as we exhale. Knees to forehead to start with. You can stay here or bring your hands to your lower back and begin to extend the feet up towards the ceiling. So finding a position that feels comfortable for you. If you are moving more towards vertically, then you'll probably want to bring your hands slightly lower down your back, well, more towards the shoulders, and you're going to want to engage the glutes. So the hips press forward and you're going to want to bring the toes back so you make more of a vertical line. Make sure that your shoulders are pressing into the mat and the back of your head is pressing into the mat, so there's no strain on the neck. Nice steady breaths as we focus on our balance, looking towards the toes. Keep a steady gaze point, not shifting the gaze, not shifting the mind. Filling us with that beautiful focusing energy. And then if you wanted to move into Karnapidasana, ear pressure pose, this is a wonderful one for tuning into the internal sensation and listening to your breath. But if it feels too much, it's an extreme flexion of the spine and the neck. So please move really gently. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. We're going to bring our knees down towards our forehead to start with, and then extend our feet behind us. And then from here, we're going to bring our knees to the outsides of the ears, onto the floor, and our feet together. Arms can support you on your lower back, or you can interlace your fingers and place the little finger side of the hand down towards the floor. And then when you're ready to come out, bring the knees towards the forehead first. Arms alongside the body, palms face down to act as your brakes as you very gently roll down the spine using your core to help stabilize you. Extend the legs long. Matsyasana fish pose is our counter posture. As we inhale, we look up, look forward. So propping ourselves on our elbows. And you can stay here or you can bring the thumbs underneath the sit bones. Inhaling to expand the chest, draw the chest away from the shoulders, lift the head. As we exhale, the crown of the head draws back behind us, opening through the front of the body, opening up through the throat and the heart. Looking off the tip of the nose. As we exhale, chin to chest. Release the thumbs from underneath us. And very gently begin to roll down. We'll move into our twist, Supta Paravatasana. Bring the knees in towards the chest, bring the arms out to a capital T, about shoulder height, palms face up or down actually, whichever feels more comfortable on your shoulders. And as you exhale, very gently lower the knees over to the right. You can look up or look over towards the left fingertips. And again, as we move into this slightly more passive twist, feel the expansive breath filling your chest cavity, filling you with all this beautiful new energy for focus. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale, gently lower them over towards the left, maybe looking over towards the right fingertips. You can close the eyes if you're feeling balanced and safe and stable here. Inhale, knees to center. Give them a little squeeze into the chest, and we'll move into Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to fall open to the side. You can use blocks to support them, or if it feels too intense, bring the knees together, feet to mat distance apart. You can rest your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly, and begin to softly close your eyes, feeling the breath travel once more. Feeling it lift the chest, lift and separate the ribs, traveling all the way down into the belly, lifting your right hand. And then, as long as it doesn't cause any pain or strain to the eyes, with your eyes closed, begin to look up towards your third eye center in your forehead. So it can feel a little bit of a strained sensation, kind of like you're crossing your eyes. This is a really good, useful technique for meditation, bringing the awareness inwards, watching your Ajna Chakra from the inside. Notice how you're feeling. Direct the energy there. So with each inhale, feel it expanding you. Feel it travel then all the way up to your third eye center. And as you exhale, you cleanse yourself of any old, stale energy. Anything that no longer serves you, you release and reset. Take one more deep breath in, filling yourself with this beautiful purple energy for focus. Exhale, let it go. And then begin to release into Shavasana, extending your legs long out to the front corners of the mat. Release your arms alongside the body, palms facing up, keeping the eyes closed. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and down towards your ribs. Let your feet fall open to the side. Let your head feel heavy and maybe tip your chin towards your chest to create length along the back of the neck. Allow yourself to sink into your mat. Hopefully, with all the balancing postures and the focal awareness points, we are beginning to have a clear mind. But if at any point you do feel your mind begin to shift, returning to your chittavritti, just gently bring it back to the breath or the third eye center. And allow yourself to stay completely present here in body, breath and mind for the next few minutes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. As you go forward, I wish you peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.